Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Off the Clock. I'm your host, Sierra Jones. Today we have Coach Kerry Johnson, CEO and owner of Vigilant Sports Unlimited. We're going to be hearing how Coach Kerry started from a high school gym to now owning his own gym. We're going to hear about his family and also about KJ Impact and the many products they have coming forward. Without further ado, let's get Coach Kerry off the clock. Welcome. I am here with Coach Kerry Johnson. He is the owner of VSI Unlimited. For those who don't know, he has trained several professional athletes, including some of his own kids. So, Coach, will you tell us how you got started with VSI Unlimited?
Oh, wow. Well, years ago, I actually managed and had a AAU training program, Vigilant Sports. And through that program, I noticed a huge need for player development on the AAU circuits and travel circuits. And so I started very small training players that were within our organization, and it just continued and expanded.
Yeah, so if any of the clients that you had were sitting right here, how would they describe you?
First of all, I think they'd say I'm very honest. I think that it's very important, no matter the age or the talent level of an athlete, that they are told the truth of where they are and what their expectations should be. And last, I think they'd say I'm very loyal.
Yeah. And for those who don't know also, I moved here in 7th or 8th grade, and Coach Johnson was my first basketball trainer. And I would agree with what he said. He's very honest and very loyal. I actually remember I couldn't jump rope. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
I was not able to jump rope, and he was very honest about the need of just the importance with agility, and then also the loyalty of like being really consistent too.
Yes.
So, but Coach, going back to how you got started at VSI Unlimited, you weren't always at this location that we're at now at 12 South.
No.
Will you tell us about how you got to be here?
Oh, wow, that journey. Initially, when I got started, I did a lot of my initial training out at one of the local high schools where I coached, Madison Academy. But as my clientele and business grew, I needed a little bit more flexibility and space. First location was on Putnam Drive. Was great. We were there for our first 2 years, and then from there we moved to a different location for another 6 years. And as our clientele grows and the needs of our clientele grow, we try to adapt to make sure that we're meeting those and finding things that'll keep us on the front edge of that.
Yeah, and so will you also share, because being here, you got turf, you got the basketball court, there's also an area where kids can study. Will you share what all is entailed at VSI Unlimited? What do you guys have to offer?
VSI, we like to say that we are a human performance company, not just an athletic performance. The way our building is designed is we have our life center, which is for everything that occurs off the court or off the field. Mentorship, tutoring, film study, those type of things. And then we also, as we're sitting in our performance center, for everything that happens on the court and on the field. So basketball training, football, track, speed and agility training, and as I mentioned earlier, mentorship, ACT prep, homework help, and youth counseling.
And then what are the age range you have? What's the youngest client you have and the oldest client that you have?
Wow, the youngest right now is 7.
Okay.
Our youngest is 7. Older, we've got a number of pro players that probably wouldn't want me exposing their ages, but I'd say our oldest client right now is early 30s, 33, 34 years old.
And so how do you come up with workouts? I know, do you still right now currently still train?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, not as much, but yes, I am still on the court as much as my body allows. The curriculum is really, we try to be as individualized and as personable as possible. You know, our days are spent planning our sessions. We specialize in what we like to say is individual and small group, because at heart we're teachers and we want to be able to teach. And so our sessions are designed around those and each client's particular skill set.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then will you talk a little bit more about some of the equipment that you have here? Because you also have the gun, or what's the other name for it? Dr. Dish.
Yes.
You have a Verplex, right, for
Vertimax.
Vertimax.
Yes. Again, we are a multi-service facility. And we're always looking for things from our standpoint to keep our athletes on the forefront. We use the Dr. Dish training a lot. As you can see in the background, one of our players is currently using the Dr. Dish. A very valuable tool for us to design workouts and to collect useful data. We don't have to wonder if a kid's getting better. The statistics bear it out. It narrows it down. Funny stories where you ask a kid, say, where do you like to shoot from? And they says, oh, I'm really good from the right wing. And I go, well, the stats tell me something totally different. The stats tell me something totally different. So that's a big part of what we use. The Vertimax training is also very big for us in our speed and agility. A lot of people use Vertimax, but we're actually one of the few actually certified Vertimax trainers in the area. A lot of speed, agility, resistance work for quick response, and it can be tailored for every sport. It was originally a basketball tool, but now every sport uses it. And we have a film room. One of the things that I think is really missing in youth sports is understanding how to watch and prepare film. So we have a film room so they can learn how to watch film and not just the game.
Yeah. And you also have a weight room, correct?
Yes, we also have a weight room. As I said, full service facility. Anything that the athlete needs here. We have nutrition training. I did not mention that earlier. But anything an athlete needs here to perform at their best, what their best is, we can help with.
And then before we go on and talk about his kids, will you share just first, if someone watching right now that wants to be like you, wants to own their own gym, wants to get into personal training, what advice would you give them?
Patience. First and foremost, it's about patience. And it's, what are you doing it for? For me, I use this statement a lot, in that for me, this is my ministry. This is my opportunity to get young men and young women through the door. We use basketball to do that. That allows us further access to mentorship and things down the road. So I would say you definitely have to have a why. For us, it's not just about making a better basketball player or a football player. It's about serving our community and making us better people.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be right back to hear more about his kids. I know you're thinking Kerry Johnson. There's a Karan Johnson. There's a Kerry on Johnson.
Yes,
so we'll get to it soon.
The greatest asset we have is our employees.
I'm very excited to welcome you to our new corporate website.
The National Space Club was founded as the National Rocket Club in 1957.
In North Alabama, we are extremely blessed.
True Tone will test your theory in everything, the good things and the bad things. In everything, give him thanks.
Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain?
Hello Huntsville is a weekly lifestyle audio and video podcast produced in studio and on location to showcase Huntsville's best activities, entertainment, neighborhoods, and all the unique attractions that make the Rocket City one of the top cities to live in the nation. Our primary audience is adults who live, work, play, and innovate in the Huntsville metro area. And each episode will feature Cynthia or Hannah in conversation with business owners, decision makers, elected officials, and some of the city's most compelling personalities telling the stories of their hometown. Whether you're local, new in town, or just passing through, Hello Huntsville will have something for you.
Welcome back. I'm here with Coach Kerry Johnson, the owner of VSI Unlimited. So I know some of you guys are probably curious about his kids. You've seen and heard them before. So Coach, will you just tell us how it got started? Were all of them very athletically blessed, or work ethic? How did that start?
Wow. I think the first thing I would say is that we are a competitive family, and we kind of bred that at home in everything that we did. And so, family game nights for us is brutal. Okay, so it was just naturally bred. We wanted our kids to be confident in themselves and who they were. So we kind of force fed that as they were growing up to be confident, to be competitive, and not to take rejection or no's or anything lightly.
Mm-hmm. So the oldest is Kalonda.
Yes.
She scored like a
30. She scored a 31 on her initial ACT with no study, no preparation, and was actually upset that she didn't get a perfect score. She wanted to do it again, and I was like, no, we're good. We're good.
She did not play any sports though, right?
Well, don't tell her that you said that. Okay. She ran track a little, but her biggest thing was dance, and she says dance is a sport. So
it is a sport.
She
it
danced,
is a sport.
Yes.
It's in her genes because now her daughter is probably going to be a future gymnast.
Well,
maybe.
We kind of took a career change.
Okay.
She actually wants to be Sierra. She wants to be she's taking theater now. She's acting and taking theater. So
that's awesome. So tell us more about Carry On and Karan with them getting started. Most people don't know Karan played football.
Yeah, Karan was a really good high school football player. He's known obviously for basketball and his talent on the court. But yes, he was also both boys were actually both very good at football and basketball. They each chose opposite sports.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then let's say when Karan was deciding between where to go, what was that process like for him to college? So I know Belmont wasn't the only school that wanted him.
Right. With all of the kids being recruited, and we learned a little bit more at each stage. Mm-hmm. With Karan, we were at the beginning stage of that type of journey, so we didn't have a lot to go on. We were educating ourselves along the way. But one of the things that I always stressed to Karan was I wanted him to go and play for a coach or an organization that was not only going to make him a better athlete, a better basketball player, but a better man.
Yeah.
And so doing that recruiting process with some of the other schools, Murray State and of course Belmont and schools like that, we didn't know a lot about Belmont. But our very first conversation, we sat down with the then coach at Belmont, Rick Bird. One of the first things out of his mouth was, if you come play for me, I will promise you that we will not only make you a better basketball player, but a better man. And so for us, it was done. It was really done with that statement because that's what I had preached to him his entire life. So that was kind of how that unfolded for him.
And he had an outstanding career at Belmont. How many championships?
Wow, he did. He had 3 conference championships at Belmont. He's one of the few players to earn a conference MVP, tournament MVP in 2 different conferences. He actually did it in the ASUN conference, and then followed it up the next year in the
OVC.
OVC, yes. So he's one of the few players that actually have done that.
Wow, I actually didn't know that.
Yes,
That's pretty cool. And then when he was at Belmont, remind me, because he played with Ian Clark, who was in the NBA for a little bit. Did they ever get past the first round of the NCAA tournament?
We did not.
Okay.
Went 3 consecutive years. Unfortunately, going in those years, even as a conference champion there, we were going in as a lower seed.
Yeah.
And we faced teams Arizona, Georgetown, and
Was it North Carolina one
year? Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. So
that's right.
So we kind of had some tough draws early.
Yeah.
So no, they did not.
And then you have Nyla Johnson.
Yes.
She had an outstanding career at Madison Academy and then played at Faulkner University.
Yes.
Will you talk about just, because growing up, you know, she was really the only girl playing basketball with 2 other brothers. How was that for her?
Physical.
Yeah.
It was physical, which she adapted to really well. If anybody, you ever saw her play on the court, she was a competitor. The story that I could best use to describe her was she wasn't as naturally gifted. She turned herself into a really good player because she had relentless work ethic.
Yeah.
And she had relentless work ethic, and the old saying is tough as nails and mean as a snake, and that applies to Nyla.
If you watched her play, she was very, very tough.
Yes.
Very, very tough. I was thankful my freshman year, it was her senior year at Madison Academy, so I got to play with her, and she's probably one of the toughest and strongest players I've ever played with, for sure.
Yes, probably one of the best teams she was on. That was a great team.
Yeah, it was an absolute great team. Then we got Kerry on, the baby.
Yes.
Tell us about this. He had a very different journey with, ESPN was at Madison Academy.
Yes.
So tell us about that process.
Wow, a completely different journey. Kerry was a kid that was and is supremely talented and knew it.
Yeah.
and not in a bodacious type of way. I mean, he knew it. He was always been very confident in himself and his ability. And from day one, we knew. We were on the basketball track with Karan and Nyla and everybody was thinking Kerry-On's going to follow that path, and he was a good basketball player, but from day one you knew he was going to be football. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He just had he had instincts and things on the football field that you just can't teach, and he's his own person, as you very well know. He's in his own. Kerry-On's in his own world.
Kerry-On.
Yes.
So how was it when he arrived at Auburn? And of course, he had so many offers. He could have gone anywhere.
Yes.
How was that for his transition, you think, from high school to college?
I don't want to make it was never an easy transition. It's never an easy transition to go from one level to the next. Rather, it's middle school to high school to college, college to professional. It's never an easy transition, but there are players and people that are better prepared than others.
Yeah.
And his skill set and his work ethic and his humility allowed it to be a more seamless transition into not only Auburn but the SEC, which college football was. He never, Kerry-On never doubted one day that he shouldn't be on the field.
Right.
I'll put it that way. He never doubted one day that he should not be on the field. So.
Yeah. Before we go, will you talk about, because I was there too, but just from your perspective, draft day, being there.
Wow.
What was that like?
Nothing like it.
Yeah.
As a parent, and every kid has it. When they're 6 years old, the teacher asks you to fill out a sheet of what you want to be, and everybody is football players, is firemen, is astronauts. All of these boys say, I want to be an NFL player. And Kerry-On was no different. I still have his letter, right, that says, I want to be an NFL football player. But to be there, as you start to see it come to a possibility at one point, and then the closer it gets to draft day, and then on draft day, to sit there and then hear your son's or your child's name called for a chance to realize their dream, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's even, you know, you have people telling you where it's going to happen or where you may go, but until it actually happens, it's undescribable.
And I think just credit to you, because it's unheard of to have two sons that Karan was Mr. Basketball.
Yes.
Kerry was Mr. Football.
Correct.
Nyla won accolades as well. And just the success, it's a testament to you and Miss Nyla, your wife, and just what you guys instill. It's admirable.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. I think, you know, we tell people all the time that, you know, they ask us about that. And I think one of the things I was smart enough to do is put my kids in a position where they were around other good people, other good coaches, other good influences, and we were always very adamant about that. So I think it wasn't just us. It takes a village. It wasn't just us.
Well, while Kerry was in the league, they started KJ Impact, and we're going to be right back to hear more about it.
The greatest asset we have is our employees.
I'm very excited to welcome you to our new corporate website.
The National Space Club was founded as the National Rocket Club in 1957.
In North Alabama, we are extremely blessed.
Truth Home will test your theory in everything, the good things and the bad things. In everything, give him thanks.
Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain?
Welcome back. We are still here with Coach Kerry Johnson,
Yes.
the owner of VSI Unlimited. So, Coach, as mentioned, will you tell us what is KJ Impact?
Okay, Kerry Johnson Impact Foundation is a nonprofit that Kerry started when he was still a member of the Detroit Lions. We do a ton of community service type work and things here within the community. Kerry never wanted to limit himself to any one particular service. So, I mean, we have done adult literacy. We've done, unfortunately, some homeless work. And so we do a lot of things, youth education. We do some youth scholarships for youth going to college, those type of things.
Yeah.
So it's a great nonprofit, and we are very proud of it.
And KJ Impact has blessed a few high schools with some backpacks.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've done some things with some local high schools, some back-to-school backpacks. We've done Thanksgiving dinners or bags for different things. We've hosted KJ Impact Takes Detroit was a big undertaking for us with one of the local Boys and Girls Clubs. We set up a curriculum for which kids to qualify, in which we took on an all-expense paid trip to Detroit to experience, a different atmosphere, different city, and also to be a part of professional football. So that was awesome. That was great.
Incredible. Well, tell us what KJ Impact is doing now and what some big events that we can expect.
Wow, the biggest event, KJ Impact is continually doing different things. We've got a housing project that we're now working on, but one of the biggest things that we're doing right now is we have a celebrity golf tournament coming up August 5th. It'll be held at the Huntsville City Country Club.
Okay.
We'll have several celebrity golfers, some of which I'm not ready to announce just yet.
Okay.
But it's going to be it's a little bit more than a golf tournament. It's going to be a golf tournament. We will have an auction, a silent auction after the golf tournament. We will also have a sponsorship dinner that night of the golf tournament. So
wow.
it's going to be a full day of fun and helping raise funds for which KJ Impact can reapply to the community.
And I know not anyone can be a part of the golf tournament, but is there a way to like sign up? Or?
Yes. You can register. We have teams of 3, teams of 4, or I guess it's threesomes and foursomes. I'm sorry, golf lingo. You can go to kjimpact.org and click on our golf registration. You can register your team or your organization there. Much appreciated. Doesn't have to be competitive golf. I am not a competitive golfer. You know, I'm the guy that's driving the cart, so I'm just letting you guys know that. But it's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it.
Oh, that's awesome. And then you said August 5th at the Country Club here in Huntsville.
Yes.
People can visit kjimpact.org.
kjimpact.org, and it's under our community tab, and you can register there.
And the teams can be women and men.
Can be women, men, co-ed. Again, you know, don't worry if you got a slice or 2 in your game. It's going to be okay. But we're looking forward to it, and it's going to be a lot of fun that day.
And is there an age requirement?
Not an age requirement.
Okay.
Not an age requirement. I expect several of our clients, some young golfers, will be in there.
Yeah.
They're in here practicing their swing, so we're excited.
Well, I can't golf, but I'll probably ride at the golf cart. So that sounds good.
We have a golf cart race out there. That'll be fine. It's going to be huge. We've got a sponsor that's a hole-in-one sponsor. There's going to be a vehicle on one of the holes. If you hole in one, you get to drive away with a vehicle. It's going to be something a little bit different.
Wow.
It's going to be
August
different.
5th, you're going to want to put that in your calendar.
Yes. Yes.
Well, Coach, just thank you for your time. But before we go, can you go back and tell us just information about VSI Unlimited, anyone who's watching and now really would like to come train here? So
Sure.
How do they get in contact?
Well, feel free. You can go to any of our social media pages, website or Facebook. Click registration, website www.vsiunlimited.com, and click our registration page, and it'll have all our information.
And just to go back for those watching, remember that this VSI Unlimited is more than just a facility. They offer tutoring, right?
Tutoring, mentoring, ACT prep, yes.
All of the above. So please do reach out to them. VSI Unlimited has blessed me tremendously. Like I said, I started 7th, 8th grade, and Coach trained me all the way up to when I played overseas. And he not only helped me as a player, but definitely as a person. He is the real deal, and the people working here with him as well. This is a family business.
It is.
His son-in-law works. Daughter works in here. It's a family business. You might see Kerry on Karan and Nyla walking in here one day. It's a really fun atmosphere. So Coach, thank you again for your time.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Join us next time to see who's off the clock.